What's up, Twitch and YouTube? It's Murphy55 coming to you with another episode of Around the Gjallarhorn. And tonight's esteemed guest is my guy, Slim Ghost, who's, a legendary streamer in the man community. He's on that partner push right now. He's putting real money in people's pockets, running tournaments every week. And he's on his grind right now. And the goal for today's podcast is to kind of get the real story, the origin story of where Slim Ghost came from, where he's heading to and what he's up to right now. So, Slim, thanks for being on the podcast, man. It's a pleasure to have you on here.
Man, it's a pleasure to even do this with you, man. I'm excited. Let's get it. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, I'm ready for this, man. So the first thing I think, why not start back at where the story begins? Your hometown. What's home for you? Where are you from originally, and where are you at now?
So a lot of my supporters know I'm straight from Dallas, Texas, born and raised. I'm a huge Cowboy fan, Mavericks fan. I've been here my whole life. Just a true hometown legend. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I put Dallas on the map everywhere I go. I probably never leave,
yeah,
Dallas. Even when I was in the army, man, I couldn't. I just couldn't
yeah,
stand the fact of leaving my city. But yeah,
yeah.
Dallas to the day I die. You feel me?
Let's go. Yeah, I see you got your Luka Doncic on the flag there, potential MVP candidate again this year. Man, and you talk about serving in the military. Where did you have to move to when you were stationed? During your time with military service.
I'm gonna keep it hot, man. So like, I had to move to Atlanta, man.
Yeah,
Right outside of Atlanta, like an hour away from Atlanta. It's
yeah,
Fort Benning, Georgia,
yeah.
home of the infantry. I was combat. I was an infantry mortar 11 Charlie in the military. So I had to do combat training
Yeah.
in base in Fort Benning, and I was stationed there. I just got unlucky. I
Yeah.
literally went across the street. Usually, when people do their basic training or whatever, they go somewhere else to
Yeah.
do their duty. They sent me across the street,
Oh
and
man.
uh, and I hated Atlanta.
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated it with a passion. Like I hated it. It was just right outside of like the Alabama border, and like I
Yeah.
hated Atlanta, man. I probably will never ever ever step foot back in Georgia ever again. Texas is
Yeah.
gonna be where I reside to the
Yeah.
day I die.
Now,
You
now,
know what
now,
I'm
what it
saying?
what was there like a culture shock like moving to Atlanta? Like it's on the East Coast over there. Like what was different about Atlanta as
Ooh,
opposed to like your
you know me. I'm gonna be honest. It's like kind of like it's kind of like a black New York, man. It's just like I
yeah,
promise you, there's a street in Atlanta, in the middle of Atlanta, and I went there. I went there with my family, and it's a street, and it's the most broken street ever. It's like the roads is bad or whatever,
yeah,
but it has all the celebrities on like one strip, like all their like the restaurants, all
yeah,
the reality stars is restaurants and like
yeah,
salons and stuff like that. It's like all on one street. It was like something that was like so crazy to me, and people were just
yeah,
walk down the street. People were just riding their bikes down the street, and man, it's just a total different vibe over there in Atlanta. I'm talking about,
yeah,
the dreads and stuff like that. It was crazy.
yeah.
I'm not really big of like a party dude like that, so yeah, that just wasn't my vibe. I'm like more low key. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Atlanta's definitely known for like I think crunk music came out of there, like Lil Jon, the
Hmm.
East Side Boys out of there, right?
Hmm.
Usher,
Hmm.
like a whole bunch of great music coming out of there for sure. But yeah, man, definitely. It's good that you got to kind of make your way back home to somewhere where you're more comfortable. What kind of what kind of has appealed to you about Texas living down there? Like, what's is Dallas like the typical Texas city, or is it's got a pretty metropolitan downtown, right? Like it's pretty bustling place.
Yeah, so Dallas is like something that I like. Dallas is, to me, I just feel like it's the land of opportunity. It's so diverse, man. It's like
Yeah,
there's so many opportunities for you to win here.
yeah,
Just no matter what you want to do here. And for me, I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan, huge sports fan
yeah,
in general. You know what I'm saying? So, coupled with the opportunities that Texas has, the sports teams that I'm just going to ride or die for, and also, as I get a little older, just the business opportunities and the taxes and stuff like that, more veteran friendly for me because I am
yeah,
retired military. So a lot of those things are just, aligned with like what I want to be. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm
Absolutely.
not an up north guy. I'm like, down south legend. You know what I'm saying? So like stuff like that, man. It just aligns with me correctly.
Yeah, for
Where,
sure.
aren't you up north in
Yeah, man.
Canada?
I'm Canadian. I'm like up in Toronto, so I guess as far as Canada goes, I'm about as far south as you can go, but still more northern than anywhere that you'd that you'd be in the states for
Yeah,
sure.
man.
So I've been in
It's just too
Alaska.
cold, man. It's too cold
Yeah,
up there, man.
yeah,
Like,
it's brutal, man. I had to shovel I had to shovel in front of my house today before the podcast. Actually, throw down salt to get all the ice from melting. It's nasty up here right now. It's
ain't
nasty from like November till like April, to be honest. Like there's probably about a third of the year where you really don't want to go outside at all. It sucks.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So in Texas, we never really get snow. We're in Dallas.
Yeah,
I don't know about other. We never really get snow, and if we, I've never had to shovel snow or even attempt to shovel snow. And the
yeah,
only shoveling, the sun gonna melt it. The sun
yeah,
gonna melt it the next day. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
The only thing bad we have here is these crazy ice storms. Like the ice storms are wild. Like
Yeah.
it's just the ice, man. If it ever snows or anything, all you have to do is worry about that ice, man. There's so many
Yeah,
accidents, and like sliding on bridges, and just
I
a
saw
hazard,
that.
man.
I saw
Yeah.
you guys got a big. I actually a couple of my friends on Twitch who were down in Texas. I know a lot of the internet was down. Like maybe about a year and a
Mhm.
half ago, there was a big ice storm, and I have family actually who live in. I have a cousin and my uncle live down in Houston, and they had snow over there too. And you look at the roads like with just like a couple millimeters of snow, and it looks like an apocalyptic situation. Like the cars spun out everywhere. Like people just aren't used to driving in it. It's
Yep,
like
well, I used to like it because they would shut down schools and they would shut down
yeah,
work and stuff like that. So anytime anything like that happens, it's like a national holiday for
yeah,
Texas. Like it's a
yeah.
state holiday. They're gonna shut down everything. It's a free day.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's the
saying?
best day. I'm a teacher actually myself, and we've had 3 snow days this year, which normally we don't get one, like because it takes a lot to get a snow day in Toronto. We're
Mhm.
used to getting snow almost every day, but yeah, man, those are like the bonus days off that nobody expects. That's the best kind of time off for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, man, for sure, man.
But I got a question for you too. Are you big into baseball? Like I know you said you're a big basketball fan, big football fan. Like who do people root for in Dallas? Like are they
We
Astros fans? Are
No,
they
we have a team
Rangers?
here, the Rangers. The Rangers aren't
Yeah,
located in Dallas,
yeah,
but the Rangers aren't very good
yeah.
anymore. The Rangers aren't like I remember. So I don't watch baseball. I
Yeah,
watch it enough where I need to know what's going on. I know the game. I'm
yeah,
just not an avid fan like I watch the Cowboys and the Mavericks. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then
exactly.
the Rangers aren't that good. They weren't that good since like Josh Hamilton and like Michael Young and like
Yeah,
Elvis Andrews in the World Series when they went like the couple back-to-back years,
yeah,
Ron Washington years. I was watching it then, in
yeah.
October, but I wasn't really. I can't watch all. I think it's like 200 games that y'all have.
It's a lot. It's
Yeah,
like 162. It's basically double the NBA schedule, I think. What is it?
yeah,
NBA is like
that's
81,
crazy.
82 games. It's a
That's
lot.
crazy.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I know that they had a big so that's in they play out of Arlington, is that right? Is Arlington close to Dallas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Arlington, yeah, exactly. So Arlington is like 20 minutes. It's like literally the next suburb of
Yeah.
Dallas. And that's where the Cowboys play actually too. The
Oh, okay. I
Cowboys
didn't know
play
that.
in Arlington. They're not in Dallas. They're right outside. It's
Yeah.
really all of it's the same though.
And what's Fort Worth? Because I stopped over at the airport once. I never got out of the airport, but like I think on the way to Vegas, I had a stopover in Dallas Fort Worth. I was like, is that like a suburb or is that like a Twin City type situation?
It's like a twin city.
Yeah,
Fort Worth is like 30 minutes outside of Dallas. So Dallas is huge. Like I'm talking
yeah,
about Dallas is like big. So Fort Worth is the next major city, and it's more like old school. Fort Worth is like more of a cattle town,
yeah,
older city. And Dallas is more like
yeah,
more broader, like
yeah.
yeah, more modern.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well there you go. So I got a little geography lesson right off the bat, which is great because although I have family down there, I've never actually been able to schedule a vacation down. I've heard San Antonio's nice too. I've heard there's so many great like you're kind of spoiled being in the state of Texas. I mean, it is probably is it the biggest state or it's one of the biggest states anyways, I know, but it's
I
you guys
think
have so many
geographer.
sports teams.
I think if we go back to history, I think there's another state that's bigger than Texas. But
Yeah.
I mean, we all know ain't nothing
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
Texas is the biggest state.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if there's Alaska or something crazy like that that's like bigger than Texas geographically. But
Yeah,
like I think Texas is the biggest state
for
for real.
sure.
If we want
Oh,
to be honest.
100%, man, 100%. I wanted to kind of go back to talking a little bit about your military service. So you served in the infantry. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand. Like I had the hardest job in the army. My job, every other job is just direct support factor of what I do. We train to go into battle. We train the hardest that we can. We train to protect. this country. So like a lot of people don't understand the mental and the physical toll that it takes to for us to do our job, you
Hmm.
know. Especially someone like me. I'm like 6'5". I'm 6'5", about a buck 80. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a little skinnier. So and I'm taller than everybody. So I had to learn how to get down and maneuver and stuff like that, or be able to do my job correctly. So the army it was good. You know, my particular job, you know, combat training, it's it's more mental than physical. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest with you, because even if you can't run a mile, if you can't run a mile in 8 minutes, they're not gonna kick you out. You're gonna learn. Like it's
Yeah.
just the body's gonna adapt to it. You know, you got by the end of the day, you're gonna learn how to run that mile in 8 minutes, no matter
Yeah.
what you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's more mental than anything. It's not the physical part is like probably the lowest thing on the list. You know,
Yeah.
mental is the if you have a good mental thing, you can do anything. And
So
I just now I'm gonna be honest, there wasn't a lot of African Americans doing infantry. At all
really.
because
Yeah.
most African American men we take like admin jobs like desk jobs because of they don't want to they
Yeah.
don't want to be in that type of situation. But for me, I'm one of those people. I'm born and raised different. So like I'm always
Yeah.
been mentally tough and things, and I've always taken on the challenge of things that I always wanted to accomplish. And I felt like if I was gonna go to the army and do something great, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
something great. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm gonna learn like the best of them. And I'm gonna wear like for all infantry guys, we know this. We wear this blue cord that symbolizes like we're prepared for battle. Like only us have that cord. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like yeah, so it means a lot to me. So
Yeah.
I do rep that proudly, and I'm able to say, hey, I stood for my country. I'm willing to fight for my country, and I paid that cost. So
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. Well, thank you for your service. Even though I'm Canadian, we're kind of our safety is greatly tied into our relationship with the United States. You guys have a huge military. A lot of people, like a lot of military families out there. Were you part of a military family yourself, like where other members of your family had served in the past, or were you the first one to kind of go
I'm gonna
down that
be
path?
So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. My grandfather was in the army, and actually he's actually buried at one of the national cemeteries. I don't know if
Yeah,
Canada has anything like this, but you have the chance. Like you,
yeah,
if you're so unfortunate enough to pass away, you can
yeah,
put your gravesite at the national cemetery
yeah,
with all of the other members of the armed forces. And
yeah,
my grandfather was there. He's at the National Cemetery. So my dad, usually how it goes is, I don't really know how it is for anyone else, but
yeah,
I just know based on what I see, usually like, say for instance, a grandfather went to the army but the son won't go. He's
yeah,
like totally against it, like
yeah.
whatsoever. And then the grandson will probably go in
Because they're
because it's just
removed
like,
from it. Yeah, they
yeah, it's
don't
like
they
more
don't live it. Yeah,
exactly. It's more offset. So like whenever I was trying to go, my whole family was like, "We don't go."
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But you,
And
but
usually that means we're gonna go.
mm,
You always do the
yeah,
opposite. I'm more of a rebellious type. I've always been rebellious and against the rules and make my own rules. I'm like one of those guys because I
yeah,
just believe, how hard you go at something. I've always been that person that defeats all odds. So if
yeah,
somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm gonna go. So
yeah.
with the army, I decided it was the best thing for me because I don't know. Like I've been on my own since I was like 18, man. When I was 18, I literally was on my
Hmm.
own. I didn't have any support or anything like that. So I had
Yeah,
to figure out my own ways. And I was in college and doing things. I was trying to like figure out my own way to win. And during
yeah,
that time, I was by myself, like completely by myself. So
yeah,
what happens is, even when you're working and stuff, it feels like the walls are kind of closing in on you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, you're making the same amount of money, but you're not everything else around you is going up. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
so different. So when the walls cave in before I failed, I just felt like I needed to take the bigger step forward. And I
yeah,
always been interested in being able to join the army, just being a soldier. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Stuff like that. And yeah, I was always worried about the stigma of, man, don't they yell
mhm,
at you and like don't they like do
yeah,
this or that and stuff like that. And once I got over that, it was
yeah,
over. I'm gonna tell you a story. So
yeah. Please.
it's about discipline. So when you first go to the army and when you first go to basic training, everybody think basic training is hard, and it is at times. It really 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 does suck.
Yeah,
So but it's all mental. So the first day, the first 3 weeks are this thing called like red phase. they're going to literally, like, I'm talking about just mess you up for every little thing. I'm
Yeah.
talking about if anybody else does something crazy, you're gonna get punished for it. You know, if someone
Yeah.
doesn't shave or someone doesn't make their bed, if someone's not on time, you're gonna get punished for it because it's all about building that bond of brotherhood. So,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna have those enemies, right? You're gonna have enemies that never ever do the right thing. I'm talking about never ever do the
Yeah.
right thing. So, and it'll be the guy next to you, and you know, it's a process. Like, hey man, can you be on time for formation? And this dude will be like, yeah, I'll be on time. And then the next day comes, he's not on time, and we all get messed up for it. So
Yeah.
the next day comes, it just is a never-ending cycle. So what that does is there's going to become like a period of like, hey man, can you get right? Can you do the right thing?
Yeah.
He'll never do it. Then you'll be like, you try to be his friend, like, hey man, can we like
Hmm.
as a friend, bro? Can you just like help us like get to this next stage? He'll never do it. Then you get mad at him,
Jeez.
try to fight him, and he'll
Yeah.
still won't do it. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can't control another man. If they say, let's go. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Let's go. It's just whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and get down and push with you before you even start saying let's go. I'm already gonna go down and start pushing. So things like
Yeah.
that, man. At the end of the day, you can only control what you can control, and
Yeah.
everything else, you know, it just teaches you discipline. At the end of the day.
For sure. And you were saying, was your role, so like you said, you did your basic training at the same place where you ended up, serving. Were you helping put people through basic training? Were you one of the people who was, um, like, was that part of your role? Like, or as
No,
far as
so
combat training
basically,
goes?
so it's different. It's split up
Yeah.
between, you know, training battalions. So like if you're in
Yeah.
basic training, you're on another side of the other side of the
Oh,
base.
okay.
Like
Gotcha.
they're training soldiers. Now we had a unit there. Like
Yeah.
uh you know, it's task force. So 128, they had a unit there.
Yeah.
You know, they have units everywhere along every base.
Hmm.
You know, California, you know, Washington, Colorado, you know,
Yeah.
there's units everywhere. So we just happen to have a unit there on Fort Benning. So I guess they just sent me over there to that
Gotcha.
unit.
Yeah.
So it's something totally different than basic training.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were like a drill instructor type of person, but you are drill
Oh no.
instructors. Are they actually like as intense as we see in movies? Like I'm thinking like Full Metal
Yes.
Jacket. Like they're that tough, eh? Right up in your
Yes,
face and
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. They are. They are like that, and they go to school for stuff like that.
yeah,
To be a drill sergeant, you have to go to school for
yeah,
an extensive period of time because at the end of the day, you're building the next generation of soldiers.
yeah,
If you go in there and you're not doing the right thing, just like as you're an instructor, you're a teacher. If
yeah,
you don't have the right qualification or go through the right curriculum and stuff like that to get those, how are you going to help these students? You know, prevail. How are you going to
yeah,
help these students take the next step? So they have training that they have to go through, and actually they go through another type of basic training. It's like
yeah,
they go through basic training as an entry soldier, right? And then once
mm,
they rank up enough to go through, they go to drill school. And it's
yeah,
literally basic training all over again. But you know, it's not as strict,
yeah,
but it is strict. So stuff
yeah,
like that, I would never do it because, you know,
yeah,
it takes a different type of mentality to always be mean, like
yeah,
grumpy all the time, like yelling all the time. Because what that does, it translates into your home life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
it definitely, you can tell. Like I ask a lot of my old drills because there are people too, that, especially when you get to a point where you can build a relationship with them. There are
Yeah,
people too, and they'll tell you like, "Hey man, like it's hard because like, you know, my kids won't talk to me because you have to be this person." So it kind of spills
yeah,
over into the home life, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, those things, those things, yeah, I can't do those
Yeah.
things. I got to
For
be cool at all times.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a really calm demeanor to you. You definitely seem like you got a really level head and like you're coming in very relaxed, which is awesome. I'm not sure if you've done podcasts or anything in the past,
My
but you but
first one,
you're
man.
yeah. Hey, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm honored to have you on here as your first podcast. But would you say like obviously you had to have a lot of mental fortitude to kind of get through your experience in the military and a lot of discipline. Have you found that that's been something that's transferred over to your Twitch and content creation journey, like at all? I know they're two very different realms, but like, does that discipline and that toughness kind of?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I was disciplined before I went to the army.
yeah,
I went in when I was 24, so I wasn't the same as like a 19-year-old going
mm-hmm.
in. I was more already disciplined. What it did was teach me how things really are, like how they work in the world.
Yeah.
For me, I've always been like I was always smart. Like
Yeah.
growing up in school, I was always the one making great grades and stuff like that. But I was also in a bad environment. I was in a terrible environment the
Mm-hmm.
way I grew up. I was in a very abusive
Yeah.
environment and, very poverty stricken. Like those are things that I had to go through. But the thing with me is I was always really, really smart,
Yeah.
intelligent. I was always able to figure things out on my own. So, the stuff that I got kind of talked about for when I was younger, it evolved when I was older. So, when it comes to discipline, I was already disciplined.
Yeah.
I just didn't really have a direction. I was just wild. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because usually, like people like me, like we anything we put our mind to, we can do it. So usually,
Yeah.
you got this like this natural like I can do it all. So like so with that discipline, the army did teach you. It teaches you a way to buckle it down where you don't be as erratic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my my demeanor is more calm
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, stuff is gonna be what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just like everything is gonna be what it is if you were there or not. So
Yeah.
so my demeanor is calm. I have a little bit more patience. I'm able to, talk to different types of people in different walks of life, and
Yeah.
things like that. So with the army, though, when in terms of streaming, it did teaches me. It taught me a way of organizing things
Mm.
more better. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like organizing things a lot more clearly, like so you can follow the plan. Because in the
Yeah.
military, it's just everybody. First of all, everybody has somebody that they answer to. Everyone
Yeah.
has someone that they answer to, and everything is structured. It has to have, you know, I'm talking about black and white. It has to be textbook. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
can be no loopholes in anything. You know what I'm saying? So no, those are the things that translated a little over. But in terms of you know, waking up at 6 in the morning, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
People yelling at you and stuff like that. I ain't with all that stuff no more.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I'm just a little bit. I would say I'm a little more disciplined.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but
you're driven too. Like it's different when you're answering to somebody. Now with your streaming business, you're your own boss. So a lot of the people who don't have that discipline are probably not going to get what they think that they deserve out of it. Like you're obviously putting in the work. It's obvious to anybody out there who sees what you're doing and how committed you are to it. You put in a lot on any given day, and I'm sure you feel this. Like on days where I don't put in much work into my stream, I kind of feel like it's a missed opportunity on a lot of occasions.
I
Um,
definitely feel like because I should have had a partner a long time ago. It's
Oh,
just
one second,
that
Slim. Oh, sorry, the audio cut out there for a second, but I think it's back now. It's back now.
Uh, oh, we're good.
Yeah,
What I was gonna say this, when I should have had partner a long time ago, but I didn't apply
yeah,
myself like I was supposed to, and that's one thing I do regret.
yeah,
Not like continuing it through because I would end up like stop playing Madden in February because
yeah,
the game is what it is. It just gets
yeah.
nasty, like with golden tickets and stuff like that. I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like that's just not me. So I just stopped streaming, so like
Yeah,
stuff like that, it will kill my progress. But in terms of growing, a lot of people always ask me, hey, how is it, to stream? I just tell people just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself, and you got to grind, but there's a way you grind. At the end of the
yeah,
day, Twitch is um, it's a people platform.
mm-hmm.
So, and the only way you're gonna grow is to make connections. And that's one thing the army probably taught me. You have to make connections wherever you go, wherever job you do. You need to make sure you do the job to the best of your ability, and also help your partner. Help the
Yeah,
person next to you. You know what I'm saying? Because they may be lacking in some area. You know what I'm saying? And when people think about Twitch, they just think, the old Gut Fox saying. Gut Fox will be like, man, if you want to stream, you don't worry about viewers and stuff. Hit the
yeah,
button, just hit the button, and that's all you
yeah,
have to do. Now that is right in a sense. Like he's right in a sense, but he's missing a big part of that. And a
yeah.
big part of that is your community. You know what I'm
Hundred
saying? The
percent.
connections that you need to make. You know what I'm saying? Are you actually putting in the time in your own community? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm big on Madden, so right. If I'm big on Madden, what would it look like to me if I'm never in the community? If I don't
yeah,
play the game, that's just like streaming something. You don't even play the game. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's like, how are you going to be great at something if you don't put the time in?
for
So
sure.
a lot of the people that stream, and my advice to people that want to start streaming, is one side of it is hitting the button, going live. The other part of it is putting that time in back into your community and actually building the connections and being the person that other people can count on too.
Yeah, well, 100%. I think that's great advice, and I think this is something that comes up every single interview I have. Like the last like 5 or 6 podcasts I've done with a lot of big streamers. W said the same thing. Like DK said the same thing. Like is that it all comes down to community. Like above subs, above anything else, it's about building a community and building a loyalty. With the people that are there supporting you, and what are some of the ways that you kind of feel like you give back to your community? Obviously, being a regular, having a regular set schedule and firing up streams is huge because your community wants to see you. But obviously, like, do you feel like these tourneys are a way to kind of give back to your community as well, or give them what they want to see?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I would be honest, I'm gonna be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
I played Madden for a very long time,
Yeah.
and the one thing about me is, especially if we're gonna keep it streaming,
Yeah.
I when I first started streaming, I'm gonna be honest. I started streaming and I tried to go live one time, and I had one viewer.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, that's exactly how I went. I tried to go live, and
Hmm.
I had literally one viewer. And I'm
Yeah.
talking, I was streaming for like hours, and I had one, maybe two viewers, right?
Yeah.
And granted, I had a terrible setup and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Screw this, man. I got to
Yeah.
find another way, man, to get this right. So I'm a comp player. Like I've always went to tournaments. I've always
Yeah.
been in the community. I was on 2K, back in the day where they was playing team up and
Oh,
stuff
let's
like that. I
go.
was A
Yeah.
lot of people knew me from then, and to be honest, I was playing in these leagues, and it was called 2K Gods. And a lot of
Mm.
people, when they watch this back, they'll know what I'm talking about. Like I know Fab, I know Larry 2K, I know all of the pro players now that ended up being
Yeah.
esports legends in the 2K. They know who I am. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We used to play in the leagues, and I used to bust their ass all the time. I used
Let's
to kill.
go.
I used to bust their ass. So like, and I would stream that back in the day. And this is like when I was the point guard of my team. It was, I don't know. I'm gonna explain it. It was
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Team up. So basically team play. So I was always the point guard, and I was like one of the best point guards ever. So
Yeah.
dimes, like the legends, dimes, they know who I am. I
Yeah.
used to talk, and I used to talk cash shit to them. I used to talk cash shit to them, and I used to kill them on the
Yeah.
court. You know what I'm saying? So I would get Twitch streams back then. This was like back in 2017, and I would get 30 people watching my Twitch streams and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So fast forward, when I wanted to translate into Madden, I had affiliate already, and I just didn't
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
Like
You didn't.
I honestly, I didn't know it, so I just applied the stuff, and then that's why I said, I'm gonna start streaming. And then I had like one viewer on Madden and stuff like that. So now I was playing comp Madden, so I used to go to these events. And being honest, bro, the first people that backed me was like, I don't know if you remember Chaos.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Chaos
Yeah.
237. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chaos
Yeah.
Kent. He's actually a
Is he on
basketball
YouTube
coach
now, or
at
is he?
no,
Yeah.
he's actually a basketball coach at Coppin State.
Oh, wow.
He's doing good,
That's
man. He
wild.
just got
That's
married.
awesome.
He just got married a couple months
I
back,
was
and yeah,
I
he's
was
doing
wondering
well.
where he went to because he used to stream a lot when I first got into Twitch. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely a big name for sure.
that's my dog. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And those people kind of took me under their wing. So I met Chaos, and I told him my vision. So basically, Chaos was always a good dude. I've always supported, and this goes back to say I was always in my community. So I used to support Chaos back then, like back in Madden 19 when he was running trips tight end, when he was
Yeah.
like the game is so gosh darn bad and stuff like that. I watched all that stuff, So he knows, and I used to support him on his YouTube and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I just told him, hey, I'm trying to be great too. I want to be great too. And he was one of my big backers, man. And to this day, like we're like the best of friends. We talk all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I got invited to his wedding and
Oh,
stuff
that's
like
awesome, man.
those things. He bought like. So at the time of his wedding, my son was born. He
Yeah.
got my little son some clothes, like for the man. That's my
That's
dog.
incredible,
So like
man.
we
Yeah.
became lifelong friends. Outside of Madden. So, like I said, he was one of the first people. Joke was one of the big
Yeah.
time people. When Joke came to Dallas, Joke was like, he didn't have a car, like because he was from New York or New Jersey or something.
Yeah.
He was here for a tournament, and yeah, he was with me the whole trip. The whole trip,
Yeah.
he was with me. We went to go gamble, in the hood.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying, little man, and like
Yeah.
Evil Ken and stuff like that, and like K Mac and stuff. So when I
Yeah.
first started streaming, I had like a head start because of the connections that I built.
Yeah. For
I built a
sure.
lot of connections, to the fancies, to like I'm talking about.
The
It's so
demon
many
demons.
people.
Yeah.
Man, I met so many people and they know who I am. Pavin, Dubby,
Yeah.
like, all these people like Henry. I have
Yeah.
Skimbo. They all know who I am personally
Yeah.
because I walked up to them and introduced myself. So
Yeah.
when everybody says, how do I get so much love in the community? I put the time in because I perfected
100%.
my craft and I maintain my connections. And you can never say anything bad about me. You can't
Yeah.
say anything bad because I've always given off good energy. I try
Yeah.
to support other people, and I'm good people in general. So
Yeah.
it's not all about just hitting the button. You got to put in that grind too.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm a dog in Madden. Like,
Yeah,
so I
that's
talk
true
cash shit
too.
in
I've
Madden.
seen it. I saw it in
I,
the council tournament that you came in too. I think it was Big Kep was vouching for you. He's like, put my guy Slim Ghost in there. He's nasty, and you were putting it to people in there. Like I was impressed. And
man,
every tournament,
I lost
yeah.
to him. Can I curse?
Yes, you can absolutely.
Oh, hey, so I lost to Henry off bullshit, and like
Yeah,
I'm one of those people. Like if like pro players, to be honest, if I'm being honest, pro players get this like extra kick of luck. I
yeah,
don't know what it is about how they play, but they could just do the same thing you're doing, and they
yeah.
just get this random
That
luck.
animation, that's something.
Just,
Yeah,
just, just random BS, like a strip sack or a strip fumble, like
yeah,
stuff that you'd never do, like an overthrow pick or
yeah.
something like that. That changes the game, and
Mm,
and like they'll never make a mistake.
yeah.
The game will never go bad on their way. Like they don't ever
Mm-hmm.
get cheated. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah,
you're already behind the eight ball. So I was dominating Henry, and
yeah,
then he got that luck, and then it was all she wrote. The
yeah,
game was over. So I was, stuff like that. So that's how you know you're on your way. Whenever, like, especially now, I don't know if people watch. Like,
yeah,
I talk cash shit to everybody who plays. I'm one of those
yeah,
cappers. I really talk because I just feel like you're not that much better than me. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you feel like you're not that much better than me, I'm gonna put hands and feet on you if I
Yeah,
get you in the ring. So those things like that, that helped me become somebody that people know. And
yeah,
these tournaments and stuff like that. Like everybody's saying, how are you getting all these people? First of all, I know these people, and two,
yeah,
I want to see good Madden. I don't want
yeah,
to see bad Madden.
yeah.
I play good
Absolutely.
Madden. I don't want to see nothing bad. So I want to learn as I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that vision was great because
Yeah,
I get to see the best players play.
for sure.
And
And
like
star-studded
that's
like these
all
events. Yeah,
exactly. Like I get a first row seat.
yeah,
Like I get a first like people don't understand. Young kid versus Mills go crazy. Like those are the same games you see at a live event. Those are the
yeah,
same games that people like a lot of people want to see. And I got that on my channel. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So like those things like that, and that's just a vision of me wanting to be great. How can I get the best possible Madden,
yeah,
like for people to watch, but they ain't got to go out there to watch it. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So and it started with, and I'm gonna be honest, it started with me running these tournaments, and then I said I was gonna play the winner at the end
yeah,
because whoever won the tournament, I want you. Like
yeah.
I want to play you. I want you, and I'm gonna put more. I'm
You
gonna
want to
put
face
up
the
that
best.
yeah. That I want to face the best, and I'm gonna put up 50 on it. We can play for a $50
I like
game,
that.
me
Yeah,
and you. So like those are the things that I started with doing at first because I was never scared,
yeah,
and I really wanted to be great, and I believed in it. So yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, and that's the thing. You talk about you want to see good Madden, and you're also putting up a lot of money on the line. Like the prize pools for this are not just like some rinky-dink thing. You're putting up real money that's for these pro guys is a big incentive to get them in there. So for any like you're definitely investing in your
And
stream.
two, it's not always about the like
Yeah,
if you talk to Pavin and stuff like that. At the end of the day, like okay, so it's half and half. You can see the guys that want to be great.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And the guys that want to be great, they're not going to put a cap on how they play. And
yeah,
the problem that I was having was a lot of people were turning down the events because they were too scared or
yeah,
they didn't want to lose in front of a lot of people or they didn't want to but I'm like my thing is I just don't understand. Like, you ask Poppin, he wants to win. He wants
yeah,
to be great. So it doesn't matter who you put in front of him.
yeah,
Mills, they don't matter who you put in front of them. They want to beat them.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It does not matter. So a lot of people they don't want to lose.
yeah,
So it's like, it's not about the money to them.
yeah.
It's about the chance of playing Comp Madden and
Mm-hmm.
continue to perfect their crafts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Piving and spamming buttons and stuff like that. Those are like, that's what I want to see because it shows that fight, that
Yeah.
hunger, that drive. You know what I'm saying? That want to be
For
great,
sure.
and that aligns with me. It's not always about, everybody talks about the money, and the money it is what it is. The
Yeah.
fact that you could get a phase pop. You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm.
a spamming buttons, or like
Yeah.
a young kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, to be able to play in these tournaments and stuff like that and be great in them. And then you got the underground legends, the legends that want to be great, that's always been on the cusp. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, the evil Kens, and,
Yeah.
like the real, like all the underground people, like those people want to be great too. And you can kind of put them together and you can see,
Yeah.
put them in the gulag and see who comes out.
Well, that's it exactly. Like you're not with a game like Madden. You could have the number one ranked player in the world in MCS, and they're still gonna take losses in weekend league. Like anybody can win on any given day. When you're in that level. So there's a lot of those dogs you talked about that might not be a household name, but they're still really good players and they got a good reputation, and that makes for interesting, exciting tournaments for sure.
I'm
It,
gonna say one last thing about the
yeah, yeah,
tournaments too,
for
because
sure.
the thing with the tournaments is it's a shift. So a lot of people, I don't know, it's big on in anything what you're trying to do. People sleep on you, right?
Yeah,
And so like when I first started these tournaments, people thought it was just like a rink-a-dink tournament, like,
yeah,
oh, I'll just just whatever.
yeah,
But I could, bro, it was a switch. Like, I'm talking about, like, it like shifted. People wanted to win, and it
yeah,
wasn't like the weekend league streams. Like, they locked in. Like,
yeah,
they literally locked in. So like you will see them as they're playing, they looking back at the stream to see what they missed. They looking
yeah,
back. They like not even talking to their chat. They're like locked in. And
yeah,
it's 32 players are the best players in the world. So by round three, they not even acknowledging what they trying to win.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because like you only the people that's in the championship game, that's round five
Yeah.
to get the bread. So if you lose in round four and you didn't sweat it all the way to
Oh
that
man, you're
point,
pissed.
you don't get
Yeah,
nothing. You don't get
absolutely.
anything. So it's like the level of competition
Yeah,
is crazy. And that business model made it great. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Just that way the business model is, it made it great.
for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? And the way I promote it, the way I am on stream, I watch these games, it's
Yeah,
you'll get eliminated first round
yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
not careful. So like,
Yeah,
I asked Pavan one day, I say, hey, do you watch the bracket when it drops?
yeah,
Like, and he was like, "Heck yeah, I
yeah,
watched the bracket. I want to know who I'm playing."
yeah,
So like, on the business side of it, it makes sense because guess what? When I boot up my stream, I have a
yeah.
hundred people in there instantly
Exactly.
because they want to see that bracket. So like, like those things like that. I've always thought
Yeah,
outside of the box and trying to make this stuff a bigger thing.
for
So
sure.
just being able to produce it, getting better at producing over time. A lot of the stuff, I'm a bot when it comes to technical stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I don't really know how to run OBS, stuff
yeah,
like that. But the content is there.
yeah,
All I'm doing is being myself, and I'm talking about the games, and you seeing the best players in the world play.
yeah.
It's so simple.
No, absolutely. And you kind of caught lightning in a bottle this year too with MCS ending earlier than it's ever ended before. So really, for all those guys, those pro players that want to get competitive reps in and get that feeling of competition, like MCS ended in February. Normally we have until like the middle of March, right, or like end of March. So
Right.
you're kind of filling in that void of MCS right now and providing everybody that comp thing. So really an incredible time to be doing what you're doing the way you're doing it. Shout out to Craigie coming in with the big time raid. By the way, I normally don't like to break character during the podcast, but when we get a big raid, we
Good. Be
gotta
yourself.
we gotta show love, you know. So shout out to Craigie. But Slim man, we
And then I want to
talked.
say this
Yeah,
to the,
yeah,
I got to say this
please.
about the competitors, man. The competitors are crazy. Like they want to win more than anybody. So like,
Yeah.
it's on one foot, you get to see both sides of people. Like, Vose, like, Vose, for instance. Vose is a very, very big content creator.
Oh yeah,
Go Geezy and like
yeah,
those
man.
people, they you put them in the ring together, like,
Yeah,
it's only going to be positive for all things. It can never be anything negative. You know what I'm saying? So people can see the real Vose. Like, everybody
yeah,
can see, like, oh, Vose is a content creator and stuff like that. Oh, bot wars and stuff like that. But
yeah,
he's actually a dog,
yeah,
like, at Madden. So
Oh
like
yeah.
the people that sleep on him, the people that really don't know about him, they understand. Like they don't understand that part. They just think he's a little kid playing the game. JMH, you know what I'm saying? Like little Goat Geezys and
JMH,
like
he
those
can't
people.
even
You,
compete yet, right? He'll be competing what, next year? Yeah, man.
yeah,
Some
exactly.
demons
And
out
you
there.
gotta, and they demons, you know, and
Yeah.
you see Vo's locked in, you know what I'm saying? And everybody has
Yeah.
this, oh man, Vo's is this or that. No,
Vote. Yeah, yeah.
he really be locked in, you know, and like that's what I like to see, you know. And then the capping and the trolling and stuff like that, spamming buttons, you know, those
Yeah.
people like that, you get to see how great they really are when it comes to adversity on the line. If you down 14 in the third quarter and there's 2 minutes to go and you got to play the clock and you got 600 people watching you know, those
Yeah.
things, that's what I like to see, you know, the heart of a champion and can you
Yeah.
pull those things out, you know, so that business model just made it pop
Yeah.
off. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect it to be great, but I
Yeah.
knew I was like, you know, I want to see good Madden, you know.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing would be, you know, how do I get 32 players? And a lot of
Wow.
people don't understand that shit is tough.
Yeah.
Like really, really, really difficult. And I cannot stress to you how difficult it is.
Yeah.
But for however it comes, I'll figure it out. And then we have an event, and it's like great Madden football. Like I'm talking about, if you thinking about back to when you first started playing Madden, you don't play Madden to be, you want to be the best. And
Yeah.
it's just like that that model just took off, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a really special kind of run that you've had here, and hopefully, for all of our sakes, you guys continue that. Continue it through the off season here of Madden, because it's been a lot of fun. And one of the things too that I wanted to talk about. You've talked a lot about how hard it is, first of all, to fill 32 spots once a week. Like I have another podcast I do with a panel of 4 people. You know how hard it is to get 4 people to come on for 1 hour? Like to get 32 is insane. So your DMs, I can imagine, are like flooded at all
It takes a lot
times.
of patience. It takes a lot of patience because it's two sides of it. I'm trying to fight that battle between my homies and my
Yeah,
people that I like. They say, oh, I'm too Hollywood because I'm getting this person in the tournament, or and I'm not
yeah,
giving this person a chance to play in the tournament. At the end of the day, it's a business. So like
yeah,
at the end of the day, it is what it is. I have to try to get the best
hmm
people in the world to play and actually the best exposure, and
yeah,
that business model worked for me. So it's like trying to find that balance, and then two, you got to battle the egos.
yeah,
A lot of the pro players, a lot of the top content creators, they have egos, and
yeah,
it's like they might not explain it, or they say they don't, but they do. You know what I'm saying? The fuck you slim and all that shit is like that shit, like it happens, and I have to be even killed about it, and I try to be fair. At the end of the
yeah.
day, like I always want to be fair, and that's it's not,
You
that's what
can't make
makes the
everyone happy at all times. It's
exactly, and
impossible. Yeah,
that's what makes it difficult. First of all, I have to fight against their egos. Hey, why don't you want to play in the tournament? Oh man, it's too sweaty. I don't know about that. And
yeah,
it's like, huh? Don't you want to
yeah,
be great? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like those things are like, oh man, I might not have the time to play, or like, oh, and then if they play in a tournament, they feel like they get cheated and stuff like that. It's a lot of
yeah,
like battling egos, like dealing with like being a manager. So
yeah.
it just goes to show, how much time I put in, like, being able to manage things and try to keep things low key to have a good running show because people don't understand the amount of time it takes
Yeah.
behind the scenes to make this shit great.
Absolutely, man, and I appreciate the work that you're putting in. One of the things that I want to talk about too. You talked about your connections. Some of the opportunities that have come out just from being a genuine person, a good guy who gives off good energy. Talk to me a little bit about Need It, because that's a huge announcement that you made just a little while ago that you've kind of joined up with Need It Gaming. How did that connection kind of come about? Did they reach out to you? Were you in talks with them, or what?
Really, so one thing about me, I've always wanted to do things by myself.
Yeah,
Just like, just my vision, my way. So I've always been a fan of W's. Back when I first started streaming, and the first time I went into W's chat, it's crazy because like actually I'll just go back. The
yeah,
first
yeah,
time, the first I met W, so W is cool. And actually too, the reason why I'm retired military,
yeah.
is I have Crohn's disease, and I have,
Mm,
a moderate to severe level of Crohn's.
yeah.
So having Crohn's disease is an incurable disease, and it's very, very painful at times.
Yeah,
Excuse me, I have bloody stools, and like,
yeah, yeah,
like it's really tough at times. Even right here, right now sitting here, I'm just, kind of struggling.
yeah, man.
So they actually retired me medically from the military, so I never
Yeah,
have to work again. per se.
Yeah.
But I still had that drive to be great. So with W, when I first met W was like a cool ass dude. Like people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like he's like a cool ass dude, like down to earth. Like I met him,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like and,
At
and
one of the
so
competitive events you met him, like one of the
yeah,
tourneys,
at
like
at
yeah.
one of the tournaments, yeah. So like he's a good ass dude, man. And he's an Eagles fan. So he's an Eagles fan. So and I'm a big time
Oh
Cowboys
yeah.
fan. So I'm always in his chat capping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm a little older. So I'm a little older. I'm 28 years old. So I'm a little bit older. So I don't really be on that weird shit that people be on. So I'm
Yeah.
really like low key and I'm like to the back to myself. So
Yeah.
W always showed me major love. Like he always showed me love, even when I was going through things with the army and I was in the hospital and stuff like that.
Yeah.
W would reach out to me on Instagram and like, hey man, hey buddy, keep your head up. Those things like it
Yeah.
made me want to rock with him. And I was always in tune with him with his content creation side with him. I was always rocking with him, always sub to his channel, always showing love, and he
Yeah.
would always reciprocate that love. So for the last 2, 3 years, I was on Bot Wars and I was
Yeah.
always appreciative of what he's done. It wasn't until like uh spamming buttons. I don't know if y'all know
Mm.
spamming, but
Oh yeah.
spamming buttons was labbing for Madden Bowl, and I was helping him out with Madden Bowl and the tournament right before it, and me and spamming became really close because of I run the same offense as him. Or he
Yeah.
run the same offense as me, but he the trips tight end. I would just pick his brain, and I would just be in his streams and like me and spamming would talk and we'd laugh and stuff like that. He would be like, "Why don't you get it needed?"
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't really know about all that stuff because I just want to be dolo. He's
Yeah.
like, man, that would be great, man. I'll put you with W. And when I talk to W, it's all love, man. And W has always been, somebody that I've always, been looked up to in terms of content creation. He's one of the funniest dudes on Twitch, to me.
Yeah.
And he at the end of the day, he got my sub, he got my
Yeah.
$5 a month, and it's been that
Absolutely.
way for the last 28 months. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like he's always had my support. So it just only made sense because W he'll tell you, I want you guys to help me grind.
Yeah.
I want if I everybody else, I want you guys to help me grind and tell me what I need to do to help you. And so as much as I wanted to do it by myself, it was just a no brainer for me
Yeah.
when it comes to the needed.
Hundred
And
percent.
hopefully I can use it to propel my trajectory upwards.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it kind of comes at a crucial time. Like obviously, it's a great network of streamers, and you're still going to be able to do your thing 100% because I know Need It doesn't just go after somebody they can mold. They want somebody who's already got their own thing going on. They want somebody who's established and has their own brand, and you clearly have that. You've already got a winning formula. So hopefully, this in coming during the time of your partner push is enough to kind of get you over that edge. Like how close are you? Have you been able to put in applications yet to partner? Or is it something you're waiting on, or what's
Man,
the
I'm
deal?
gonna
What are you
I'm
waiting
gonna I'm
on?
gonna be honest with you, man. Like I didn't got denied like 8 times, and
Damn.
it's crazy. It's just over the last couple of years I just been keep denied. But
Yeah.
this last time I only got denied, and I read the notes. It said because I didn't have my past broadcast on. It was like the most
Really?
craziest shit.
What?
Yeah, you
That's
gotta have your
wild.
past broadcast on. So I didn't get it. So this month, this last month I should get it.
Yeah.
If I don't get it, it is what it is. I just keep on grinding. But
Yeah.
I'm averaging 180 people in the streams.
Sheesh.
Like
Yeah.
I'm averaging like especially in the tournaments. Just because of that, I'm only streaming like 2, maybe 3 days a
Yeah.
week because
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck up the numbers. But
For
yeah, I
sure.
really want it. That's something that I've always wanted, and it's just a goal of mine. I know, talk to Big Cap and stuff. Big Cap, it doesn't matter. But
Ah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it matters. It makes you realize the work that you put in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a big time goal for me, for me personally. Um,
For sure.
when it comes to that, I'm really close. I feel like I submitted my partner application like 10 days ago, so they probably didn't
Yeah.
get back to me out if I would think Monday, the next business day. So
Yeah.
hopefully it'll work.
Hey, fingers crossed, man. It sounds like honestly, if they're denying you over 180 viewers, it's a logistical. It's got to be like an accounting error on their part, honestly, because you've proven that you've got what it takes to be at the top of the directory, and I think
I mean, it's not all them though. The
yeah,
host and raids don't count.
yeah,
Host and raids don't count towards it.
yeah,
You got to have the past broadcasts on. You got to have like
yeah,
chatters in the stream and stuff like that. Those are things I really didn't know about.
yeah,
I'm like more of a laid back guy.
yeah,
I really, people in my streams are kind of like me. I really never type in streams,
Yeah.
like ever. Like
Yeah.
if
For
anything, bro,
sure.
I'll sub and then I'll just chill and watch. I don't really type in there. I'm not with like the emotes and stuff like that. I never
Yeah.
really got on that wave. So, but you need that.
Yeah.
Definitely need it in your stream. You got to have like something that they can go off of. That is
Yeah.
really big. So I'm trying to like transform myself into being a better content creator. In terms
Yeah.
of Twitch and stuff like that. So like last night, I booted up a weekend league stream.
Yeah.
Just a regular stream, and I was nervous about it. Like, damn, I might mess up my partner numbers. But I was like, it was like 150 people in there with
Let's
no
go.
hosts with
Yeah.
no host at all. So like
That's
I feel
huge.
like I'm close. I'm close enough. I've been grinding enough for it. And I'm actually a dog at the game. And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't understand that. They just think I'm a tournament guy. I run tournaments. No, I'm actually a dog at Madden.
Yeah.
I actually mess with my MUT team every day. I play
Yeah.
money games all day long. I play money games and I watch comp Twitch. I watch like YouTube and stuff like that, trying to get better. Civil.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand this about me. I have connections everywhere,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's just because I want to be great. And people don't understand when it takes to be great, you got to make sure you have eggs in every basket, not just
Yeah.
one. Eggs in every basket. I know people at EA. I know people in the building at EA.
Yeah.
I know RG. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
to the users, to the Skimbos, to the
Yeah.
Henrys, to the jokes, to the kids, to the
Yeah.
serious modes. Like I know everybody in terms to the DK Nices,
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
everybody. Everybody knows Slim Ghost. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? No
For
matter
sure.
however they found me or however they know
Yeah.
me. So usually if I have a vision, I have people to help me make that vision come true. You know what I'm saying? And that's the
100%.
difference. That's the biggest thing to me. I'm really behind the scenes and everything. When people get their accounts banned and they don't know how to get their accounts unbanned and they got to
Yeah.
go talk to them crazy people at EA Help that they don't even know how to, they don't know English and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can be like, what's your gamer tag? I could try to get you some help. I don't know how much I can do, but I can try.
Yeah.
And all that energy has always been reciprocated back to me.
Yeah.
Because I never did any wild shit. I never did any below the belt stuff. So like,
Yeah.
I always had that love. And
For
people don't,
sure.
and that's one of the things that people don't know. I'm actually good at the game, and I actually have connections everywhere, like
Yeah.
everywhere. Like I shook Young Kiv's hand. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When Serious Mo won the belt, I got that on my Snapchat. I
Yeah.
say, hey Mo, look at me one time. And Mo said, yeah, he throw the belt up. That's on like those are videos that
That's
I got
dope.
like
Yeah.
that I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like literally tapped in to the
Yeah.
community in
That's
all
exactly
ways.
the
You know what
term,
I'm saying?
tapped in. You're plugged into the fibers of this Madden community, and it's like it's a special community. Like it's not the biggest community by any means. I'm sure you look at the directory some days, you're like, what the hell? There's only 500 people watching Madden in the entire world. Like what? It's a weird thing where it's not the biggest directory, but like everybody kind of knows everybody, and the difference is that you've met these people in real life. You can put a name to a face, and have these contacts. It's incredible. Like. And as part of that too, I feel like you're kind of embraced by all different types of people in the
Yeah,
man
yeah.
community.
I don't really have people that hate me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it's crazy because like even with like the Mutthead events, the
yeah,
people, the person that made this banner and
yeah,
like
yeah,
my graphic overlays is actually, I don't know if y'all know Ant Cap. Ant Cap has been one of the pillars of the
yeah,
community, making YouTube and stuff like that for years.
yeah,
And now he's with esports with Mutthead and Huddle.gg. Me and Ant Cap are like this. That's like my brother, right? And
yeah,
so his brother, his his
yeah,
biological brother is a graphic designer. He
yeah,
designed all my streams. You know what I'm saying? So like all my stuff. So stuff like that. I'm grateful. That's why with the Mud
yeah,
GG and the Huddle.gg. Rockets was the developer of those sites. And with Mudhead, Rockets. Me and Rockets are like this.
yeah,
These people talk to me outside of Madden.
yeah,
Like they actually talk to me outside of Madden, and that's the biggest thing for me. If I'm able to maintain those connections and that brotherhood outside of a game that we play, it becomes bigger than what it is. You know what
for
I'm saying?
sure.
So like when I talk to Ant Cap, of course he's a head esports coordinator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, he's still, Anthony to me.
yeah,
Capper, that's my
yeah,
dog.
yeah,
His brother is still Frankie. Frankie, he talks about God all the time. Like he'd be like, man, God is gonna bless you, brother. Like he always does that
yeah,
stuff, and it's like outside of the game. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
those things, right, and I'm forever indebted to the connections that I've made, and I've always been able to be myself. I
Yeah.
never had to sugarcoat it or change the way I am for nobody. I was just always myself. That's one thing for me that I'm never gonna change.
100%. That's the right way to do it, being true to yourself. And that's the most sustainable way to do it, too, because you're not putting on a show for people. You're just showing up and bringing the energy, and people mess with your energy. And that's perfect, honestly. But, you mentioned a couple of these other opportunities that came up. So, Madden Academy, that's Manu who runs that, I think. Was he the Panthers club champion a couple times?
That
I
is
feel
that is
like.
correct. That is
Yeah.
correct. Manu was of TNC Gaming. Manu has actually been one of the good guys in the community, and a lot of people don't really be liking Manu sometimes. But Manu's a
Yeah.
good ass dude, man. And he built this website called the Madden Academy, and it's a different ebook website. It
Yeah.
teaches you the fundamentals of the game,
Yeah.
like literally the fundamentals of the game. And
Mm-hmm.
it breaks it down to how you're supposed to play it. It's not about, oh, call this play and it'll work every time, or
Yeah.
call punch verticals and somebody's going to be wide open. No, it teaches you about why this play works and why this play is one of the best plays in the game, or
Yeah.
like why the defender doesn't play this zone, or why this person matched to this. Madden Academy is like one of those different types of websites that'll actually teach you the fundamentals of the game.
Yeah.
And he's actually being futuristic with it. In the future, he has this. However he did it, he has this way where, like, if you're stuck in a game and you don't know
Yeah.
what to call, you can, like, on your phone, you can be like, hey, it's 3rd and 10,
Yo,
and they'll
that's
give you a play call for
wild.
that. They'll
That's
give you a play call
crazy.
for that. I'm not
That's
gonna lie to you. Manu
yeah.
is a very, very, very smart dude. Like, he understands the way he wants to go, and he brought me, and I was aligned with his vision. And Manu reached
Yeah.
out to me and was like, it took him a while to get me, but he reached out to me and it was like, and I was on board with it. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, because for me, it became a time where at the end of the day, when I was first doing the tournaments and stuff like that, people know who I was. I was streaming and stuff like that, Madden and stuff. But with the tournaments, it kind of took off in a different direction. It took off like it just caught fire. So a lot of people wanted to do business. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. But I didn't want to get fucked out no deals.
Of course.
It's just what
Yeah.
it is. Like, and a lot of the early offers that I had, I just felt like, how the hell are you helping me?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
It's
I'm putting in all the work. I'm putting in all this, and what people have their own advice or what I should do or however I should do. And if you want to be honest, everybody that told me at first, they said it wasn't going to work.
yeah.
If I'm being honest, they told me it wasn't going to work. They said it was not going to work. It was like, man, don't worry about them people, man. You don't need
Hmm.
Pavin. You don't need
Yeah.
Pavin to be in a tournament. You don't need votes to be in a
Yeah.
tournament. You don't need Mills and them people, man. You don't need them people. And I was just
Yeah.
like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and they were like, man, you could just get whoever in the tournament. I'm like, man, I don't know what y'all talking about. So a lot of people they didn't see what I had planned.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they really wanted to take advantage of me when I started to do the tournaments, or they wanted me to put it on their site and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
just didn't understand how would that help me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I put in all the work anyway. That means I'm gonna continue doing all the work, but then you'll get credit for it instead
Yeah.
of it's supposed to be a partnership. You help me, help you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
how can I, like, so, and that's what it came down to. With the Madden Academy and stuff like that. Manu brought a realistic concept to me, and I agree with him 100%. You know what I'm saying? So with W brought a realistic concept to me, and I agree with him 100%. And I asked W, I said, look, before, I want a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? Before anything, I want a conversation with you.
Yeah.
And W called me. We talked on Discord for about 20 minutes. Like, W chopped it up, and I just asked, I want to be great, W. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I ain't trying. I don't want to be. It ain't gonna be no dick riding shit. It's not gonna be none of that shit. I want to be great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And W aligned with that. So, and with the mut.gg and the huddle.gg stuff,
Yeah.
I have all my ebooks and stuff affiliated with huddle.gg, and it's just all love. It's all vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're one of the rocks in the community, one of the pillars of the community, and I just, and they believe in my vision too.
Absolutely. And you know what? I should probably add those links to the little shout out command that I got for you in here. Shout out to JG, by the way, for dropping a 5 bomb. Really appreciate JG. He was on one of my other podcasts not too long ago. But Man, it does sound like, for a lot of people out there, like these sites talk about, teaching the fundamentals. Like it's true. A lot of people kind of get the reputation as being just like a cheeser, like finding one play that works, not understanding the route combos and everything behind it. But I think it's much more valuable to be able to teach people how to decision make within the game. That's something that I could benefit from personally. I can be a cheeser and I can have some success with it, but I'm never going to be consistently good year to year and be able to find my own offense without kind of getting that more elementary approach to it. So I got
I'm
to
gonna
check
keep
it
it
out.
honest. So with spamming,
Yeah,
spamming buttons won a lot of money this year running trips tight end. And I don't know if y'all remember, Fancy and J Wall and won the club. I think the club championship running trips, and Fancy was
yeah,
very successful running trips. Before them, it was chaos. So I've been in trips for a very long time, and I'll
yeah,
tell you the difference between something. So when spamming buttons, man, I'll never forget when spamming, like the way he runs trips is so fucking simple, bro. It is
yeah,
the most simplest shit in the world. Like you would be, if you literally was reading a book, it
yeah,
is the most simplest shit. I'm talking about it's a slant post, it's a slant post, it's a street, it's an
yeah,
in route with a flat, like just concepts that
yeah,
just work. And
yeah,
like he literally calls 4 plays the entire game, just 4 plays, and it's just like it's either halfback base,
yeah.
halfback base is just a run. It's one run, literally
Oh
one
yeah,
run that you have to worry about. It's the base.
yeah,
And then you got PA counter goal, you have verticals and curl flat. Like those things are like so simple, but
yeah,
they're very, 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 very effective. And it's so effective that he's almost 80. He just won 80K.
yeah,
$80,000 being so
yeah,
simple like that. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like Madden Academy, it's teaching you why these things work. So like with me now, I'm elite in the
yeah,
trips. I am elite, like literally elite. I
yeah,
have literally the best trips in the world. Where
yeah,
like I get humble sometimes. Skimbo was getting ready for a tournament, and he was like, "Yo, Slim Ghost, I need reps and trips. Can you help me out?"
yeah.
Those things make me like, wow. Like I'm really on my way. Like that gives me
Absolutely,
the
man.
confidence to be great. It gives me the confidence to continue to be great. You know what I'm saying? So like those things were like Vos will play me. Some goes your ass like that. That make like stuff like that makes me want
Yeah,
to be absolutely the best. You know what I'm saying? And like those things, that's what I thrive off of like challenging
yeah,
myself to be
for sure.
successful. So with the trip stuff, like I have an offense regarding the stuff like that on my channel, but
Yeah,
and when I tell people like spamming buttons, like and when people say they want to be good, keep it simple. Just keep
yeah.
it simple. Don't try to do nothing spectacular. Don't try to do nothing crazy. Just keep it simple, and I guarantee you'll be successful.
Yeah, and he had a crazy run kind of last summer, kind of being like a what do you call it, June Goon, July guy. Like he made
My
his
boy,
push.
Some Versace, he said a
It,
summer pro. He a
yeah,
summer
yeah,
pro. He
exactly,
a
right.
summer
Like, but
pro.
but and people wonder. There's always those guys who are kind of like a flash in the pan, like have one great summer when nobody else is playing the game, but then he carried that into the comp season. And like you said, 80K is not a small amount of money for sure. So that's incredible stuff. But we've talked a lot about kind of your story, your background coming out of Dallas, the military, how you got started up on Twitch, and are now right on the cusp of hitting that partner goal, which I definitely think that you will get in the near future. And we're all rooting for you on that one. But what about where do you see yourself going in the future? What are your future goals? Things whether streaming related or just personal goals that you have for yourself in the coming year and in the future.
So I recently just had a son. I recently just had a son, and
Congratulations. Yeah.
it's my yeah. He's about to be 4 months here soon, and
Yeah.
man, I'm not gonna
Incredible.
lie to you, man. That's like the joy of everything. Like really, so
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a hard life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a really really tough life, a really tough upbringing. In
Yeah.
regards to like I was like one of them. Trust me, I have a story to tell, and
Yeah.
that's why I was so excited. But I kind of persevered through all that stuff. I was poor growing up. I didn't
Yeah.
have like really no parental support. No, I didn't have any no grandparents, and like I was always like I was that kid that was like abused and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like those things, like all I had was myself. Like
Yeah.
to be honest, I've always had to count on myself and had to make those decisions for myself to be great, and that's what I'm most proud of. That I never like made no bad decisions. If you want to be
Yeah.
honest, like I grew up in the worst part of Dallas, and I had the most toughest upbringing. But
Yeah.
I did things on paper that they can't take away from me. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, I'm retired from the U.S. Armed Forces. I don't have a
Yeah.
criminal record. I have perfect credit. I don't owe
Yeah.
nobody. I had perfect financial freedom. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like, and then top it all off, I got my first son. And
Yeah.
and like the one thing I've always been lacking, the one thing I was always lacking was like love from
Yeah.
something. I never really had the love of anything, and
Yeah.
that's why I was always so calm and so collected. I never really show no emotion, those
Yeah.
things like that, But man, having a son, it kind of like, man, like when I look at him, he like
Yeah.
look back at me, and you can see that he likes
Oh,
me.
oh
You know what I'm
man,
saying?
you got
Like you
that for
can
life. Yeah.
man, he looks back at me and like he smiles when he sees me and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it unlocks something out of me that I never really had before. So with
Yeah.
that being said, the first and foremost thing, I want to be a dad. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to have a son, and I want to be a dad. I want to be the perfect role model for him. You know what I'm saying? And trying to keep it hot for him. And my thing is too, when it comes to content creation, I'm kind of I'm gonna be
Mm.
great, and I just
Yeah.
always have this underdog mentality, man. Like
Yeah.
I have that underdog mentality. So like, whatever I touch is gonna be gold. So
Yeah.
like, everything that I've ever touched is always it always was gold. And I
Yeah.
don't care what it was, even when it was with 2K. It's crazy, Larry 2K was one of the everybody know Larry
Hmm.
2K, but Larry 2K know how much of a dog I was on 2K,
Yep.
and stuff like that, and just having that charisma and that aura. And then when it came over to Madden, I have that same type of thing. For me, I want to win a belt. I mean, a lot of people probably be like, "Oh, well, that's not possible." No, it is possible because
Yeah.
whatever I ever put my mind to something, I always got it done. No matter how it might have took a while, it might have did whatever, but it got done. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So like even with a partner on Twitch, like it's gonna get done
Oh yeah.
because I'm not gonna stop until it gets done. And
Yeah.
I want to be great at Madden, and I also want to elevate content creation. I want to be
Yeah.
able to be myself in my own realm. I don't want to be like no one else. I want to be like
Yeah.
myself. You know what I'm saying? So when YouTube comes into play, right now I only use my YouTube to record and edit my ebooks and stuff like that. But I want to make it to a place where people can come and chill.
Yeah.
I want to have a place where like people like me, they can come talk to me and be like, hey man, I'm going through this type of issue and stuff like that. And now I'm transitioning to more of like an OG role. When people
Yeah.
ask me questions, I give them the right answer. I try to give them the best educated answer for them to be successful. I've
Yeah.
always been a leader in my own way. I've always been a leader. And to this day, all my friends, they call me when they need help and support. And it's the same thing in Madden. It's the same thing on Twitch. It's the same thing if you were my neighbor. It's the
Yeah.
same thing as Murphy D55. Like those things,
Yeah.
like those things I'm always going to stay true to. So when it comes to my next future plans, just be to stay tuned, bro. It's going to be
Let's
crazy.
go, man. Yeah, honestly, I'm ready to run through a wall right now. That's fired me up right there. Like that's inspiring stuff, and like to see somebody who has such a clear kind of mindset of where you want to go, and first of all, fatherhood being one of your goals is obviously an incredible thing and something that you're gonna have, the pleasure of experiencing. I'm sure, but it sounds like you got such a great head on your shoulders. Like you said, you came from a tough upbringing where you had every excuse to wind up on a different path, and you still persevered to be a very successful person. On the cusp of accomplishing some really amazing things, partnership, fatherhood. I mean, W's across the board. Slim, honestly, I'm really
I do
inspired.
want to say this last
Yeah,
thing, and I want to
please.
tell people for like motivational purposes only.
Yeah, man.
I had to do a character evaluation to join the military. Because when I was younger, I used to get in a lot of trouble. I was
Hmm.
like very obnoxious, very mischief. Like I was like that guy. I was like, you're a teacher, and
Yeah,
like you
man.
would hate to
Yeah.
have me in your class. You would
Yeah.
hate to have me in your class. I was
Yeah.
so rebellious, and like I would just be like, man, fuck you. You'd be like, I'm gonna call your parents. Call
Yeah.
them. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
Call them. So I was real rebellious. But what happened was, for me, it was like a fork in the road. It's like, damn, do I want to win or do I want to just like fall down the wrong path? And
Yeah.
I chose myself, and I chose what I believed in. And I put the battery in my own back. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I'll never take that for granted. For me to have the intelligence to choose my own way. And
Yeah.
so I got into a lot of trouble, and God looked over me where I didn't get anything unfortunate enough to happen to me. But I had to do a character
Hmm.
evaluation to join the military. And I had to talk to this psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist was like this rich white doctor or something that had all these degrees and stuff like that. And when I walked into the room, when I when I walked into the room, it was like it looked like Dr. Phil. It had the couch right there and like the toys all on the wall. It was so
Yeah.
strategically placed. But like people don't understand, like if you're an intelligent guy, like for me, like I
Mm-hmm.
always think 10 steps ahead. Like so I know this person wants to get into my head. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
control the situation. That's one thing I
Yeah.
am gonna do. I'm gonna control the situation wherever I am. So and I know this person is more qualified than me, more
Mm-hmm.
educated, and have more experience in the field that she was in. She was a
Yeah.
doctor. So but my thing is, you're not a doctor on how I am.
Yeah.
You're not a doctor on how, you don't have there's no case study on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
100%.
she did her little thing, and I read one of the theses because she at every doctor has to write a report
Yeah.
on each one of their patients. So I ended up going to the army, and she wrote something for the army that I was not able to see. It was classified. It was sealed.
Yeah.
So when you graduate basic training, they give you a thick folder, and they're like, "Do not open the folder.
Yeah.
I could not care. Do not ever open it. Do not ever open the folder. You turn it. You take this to your unit,
Yeah.
right? You know what I did?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I opened that folder. Goddamn it! I want to see. I want to see what y'all with
Yeah.
everything you got on me. I want to lay eyes on everything you know about me.
Yep.
And um, and what happened was I one of the pages that came out. You know, a lot of that stuff was like accolades, like what I
Mm-hmm.
scored in certain events and like how fast my PT scores was
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That was fine. But the stuff that was good was like the medical stuff. And
Yeah.
one of the things that was in there is what that doctor wrote about me,
Yeah.
what she wrote about me, and it fucked me up
Yeah.
because, and I'll just remember her last line, her last whatever that closing thing is at the end, that little
Yeah. Yeah.
paragraph. I don't know if it's a thesis or what, I don't know what
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
but she or a synopsis. I don't know exactly what it is, but
Yeah.
she told me. She said she was like, you know, based on Slim Ghost, based on Slim Ghost's background and everything that he's been through, all the traumatic experiences that he's went through, I am somewhat surprised that his criminal record is not worse than what it is, and he was able to attend college.
Wow. Holy
And
shit.
and that's what she said. And this is a doctor with a PhD in her field, and that's what she
Yeah.
said. That you're surprised that I win.
Yeah.
That I win. You're surprised that I was able to capture my own life. You're
Man.
surprised that I was able to be something and I was able to make my own decisions. No, you're wrong.
That's
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That's because you never had anyone like me walk in the door. And that's sad for you to have that type of thought process when you're evaluating patients. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, everybody's different. And
Yeah.
you were wrong about me. So I took that paper and I kept it. And I never turned that paper in because I would never want someone to see that type of thing that someone would write about me, because you're wrong. Because at the end of the day, when I was in the army, I didn't get in trouble not one time. I was never
Yeah.
late. No one ever had any problems with me. And I'm retired and I have all my awards and I have a retirement. I'm
Yeah.
honorably discharged from the
Yeah.
U.S. service with retirement. So like you telling me you don't have a bad mark on my body. You
Yeah.
can't say anything bad about me. And that was sad that you were potentially able to give that to my leaders
Yeah.
and I just didn't rock with that. So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, whatever someone says about you, or whatever someone says, or try to derail your success, believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself and you want to be great, trust me, great things are gonna follow. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Don't follow the crowd. You were built one way. Everybody's built one way. When you was sitting in them rooms by yourself and you was in the dark rooms, you trying to figure out who you gonna be, that's who you're gonna be when you're later on in life. Believe that you want to win. So like I really believe in my own heart that I'm gonna be successful, and I really believe that I'm gonna be great, and I believe that I'm gonna do the right thing. And so far, so good.
Yo. I'm cutting it right there, man. That's the perfect send off right there. You could not have said it any better, man. Slim, it's a honestly that's a kind of a heartrending story, man. And it's this kind of it's disgusting. The kind of some of the stuff that I'm sure you've had to undergo over the course of your life. And I feel like I'd love to kind of pick your brain and on some sort of a symposium type thing, man. I feel like you're a really intelligent guy, well spoken guy. I feel like you've got some really important opinions on a lot of issues, and hopefully down the road at some point we're able to kind of collaborate again, and I could pick your brain about some of those things. But man, you're an absolute legend for sitting down and sharing your story with us. I think me personally, and hopefully a few of the people in the chat are going to get a little bit of inspiration and maybe some perspective from what you shared and the motivational words you share with us, man. But I really do think you're going to achieve all that success. You're going to be something special in this community. And Slim, thank you so much for being on Around the Gjallarhorn, man. You're a natural, I got to say.
Appreciate it, man. I do want to shout out to all my people that follow me. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all to death, man. And then to the people that want to grind, keep grinding, man. I gotta get a special shout out to my boy Goat, man. Who it is, the Goat, man. He's
Let's
been going through
go.
some things, man. Trying to be great, man. And that's one of those people that I kind of like took under my wing. Like, you could be great one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And don't worry about what people say. Be great, man. So stuff like
We
that I'm watching. All my friends that ever hit me up for help, trust me, I got you.